I'm Rachel.
And I'm Tim.
And this is our 8-year-old Jack Russell mix, Tika. And she had surgery about 7 years ago for a broken knee. She was a stray in Kentucky, and they flew her up here into Border Collie Rescue, and they ended up not being able to put the knee back in place, so they had to amputate, and by that time we had fallen in love with her, and so that led us to 7 years later looking for a prosthetic device for her, even though she's not having any trouble walking or running or moving fast or anything. They've made such good improvements with prosthetics. We watched a show called Wizard of Paws, and they use 3D printing now, which really intrigued us. So that led us to looking for a prosthetic device for Tika.
Yes, and once we got the information in the package, it was pretty easy to do. What we did was they sent us all the stuff we needed to make a cast of Tika's chest so that they could make a 3D prosthetic for Tika. And we followed the instructions. We took her to a park so that we wouldn't have any disturbances with our other dogs. And we wrapped her up and let her sit for, we had to let her sit for 5 minutes. And then we sliced it off and mailed it in. And about 6 weeks later, we received the Tika's prosthetic, which is right here. At first it was not a wheel, it was just a stump with a pad on the bottom, and Tika didn't really go for that as much. So later in the process we discovered we could get a wheel, so we had them send us a wheel, and again, she's been 7 years without it, so it was pretty hard to convince her that she needed it or wanted it. But with a lot of high value treats and taking her to a park or any kind of park to walk that has a trail, someplace where she could chase squirrels or whatever, she really started to like it, and she really caught on to it. And now today she really does enjoy it, and she goes up to about a mile walking so far.
And has no effects from walking that mile. She comes home and rests for a little bit, and then just loves just moving around in her own backyard. We only have the prosthetic device for her when she's on walks. Don't really have a need for it in the house, but I have to say it was really important when we made the mold for the prosthesis to have 3 other sets of hands with Tim to keep Tika still. Before that, we even used like a sweater on Tika, so she got the feeling of having something tight on her body. So we did that a couple times before we actually made the mold. So that made it much easier, and she was really motivated to be quiet, and it worked, and we are over the moon happy because we knew, okay, maybe this will work, maybe this won't work. But with lots of perseverance, lots of videos sent in, they critiqued and we adjusted the prosthetic with per their advice. It helped because Tim was a quality control man from his previous job. So I just think if you persevere and you just have a positive attitude and use high value treats, I think those are the most important things. So thank you for
yes, thank you very much.
Making this so successful for us.